Good morning, traders. Jefferson Fossey here with Walsh Trading. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 7th. It is 7:45 here in the morning. The grain markets just paused for their overnight trade session. Please keep in mind that futures trading does involve substantial amounts of risk, certainly not suitable for all investors, traders, or producers. So let's take a look and see what happened here in the markets yesterday. What happened overnight and what might happen here today. First off, looking at December live cattle, big strong day up yesterday, 217 higher in December. February was up a little more, gaining 280. But the D's contract closing at the highest level it's been here in 7-8 days. Pretty strong move there, closing above the 5-10-day moving averages here and bouncing off the 50-day moving average for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time in the last 7 trading days. I think that 50-day average is a decent level of support. Volume ticked up a little bit here yesterday. I do like this market here from the long side. Does look like it wants to go higher. At a very minimum, I would see fat cattle getting up to about that 240 level, which is about that trend line resistance here. Just drawn off the highs that we had here in August and September. That resistance level is going to be right around that 240 mark. I think that's a nice little interim target. The way the market's trading, though, we held support here very, very nicely here. They rallied up in the middle of September. They could very easily have cracked this market down to new lows. Instead, support is held. And probably going to get new highs out of this would be my estimation. Still have less cattle and more people to feed. Feeders yesterday jumping 537 here in November. January added a little bit more here, 547 higher. Closing right up in the November contract, right against that trend line resistance that I was just speaking about. And the feeders were right there here. That resistance is right around, I call that 361.50 or so. We closed 360.80. Yesterday's high was 361.70. 5-10-day moving averages did flip back to the bullish side, to the buy side here with yesterday's trade. Didn't come anywhere close. We got kind of close here a couple weeks ago here, getting close to that 50-day moving average like it held in the fat cattle. Did not really test it here in the feeders. Market looks pretty strong. Stochastics pointing higher in my estimation. I think we're going to see higher feeder cattle prices here as well. One quick note here about the weekly charts here. Let's take a look and see what that's like here. You'll notice the 5-10 week moving averages here in feeders are this close to flipping over to the sell side. December cattle are flipping over to the sell side. Last week's trade was a doji, an equilibrium bar here on the week for live cattle. First sell signal that I've had on the chart here in almost a year, exactly a year to be exact, here in live cattle. But the higher move here might negate that here. The other contracts aren't quite doing that. February didn't quite make that bearish crossover. Feeders have not yet, but they're, like I said, they're this close to getting there. So that's certainly something to be aware of, but the market does look like it wants to turn and go higher from here. Looking at December lean hogs. Short-term averages are on the sell side here. Made a bearish crossover here last Thursday's trade, but Thursday we also tested that 50-day moving average bounce. I like that support hold. Up a little bit here on Friday's trade. Yesterday, finished the day down just a single solitary tick, 87.27. Tested that 50-day moving average. It bounced again. I do think that support's being tested and trying to hold here. Equilibrium day though yesterday, opening and closing almost at the same price. We'll need a directional breakout here on today's range to kind of dictate the next trend, in my opinion. Yesterday's high was 87.80 and the low was 85.90, so we get a close up above that 87.80 mark. Expect the market to go higher. We get a close below yesterday's low at 85.90. Expect the market to go lower from there, but I do like it from the long side. I think that 50-day average support's held. I think they've had every opportunity and reason to crack it back. Let's see if the market bounces. Stochastics pointing toward higher prices here as well. Looking over to the grain markets, not all the reports have stopped. Export inspections did come out here yesterday morning. For the corn, they came out at 1.599 million metric tons. Puts them about 56% above last year. And we're just shy of about 9% of the total year crop. So export inspections seem pretty good here for corn rather. Soybean export inspections here yesterday, 768,000 metric tons, about 15% below the pace we were at here a year ago. But corn market up a half a cent here this morning. Yesterday gained 2 3/4, closed at 421. We're up above the 5 and 10 day moving averages here, closed above them yesterday. We're up above them here again this morning. 100 days going to give you some resistance here right around that 423.5 to 425 range. Bounced off the 50 day here last week. Should be able to clear through that 100 day here without a problem. Stochastics are pointing toward higher prices. Volume's been declining here the last couple of days. And harvest is progressing well. That is going to add a little bit of harvest pressure, selling pressure to it. But I do think the corn's not nearly as bearish as some folks might like to believe. I think the market probably wants to go and fill that gap still. 432 3/4 is where we got that from. What is that, July 3rd? And then up to that 200-day average here is at 440-ish, 439 is where that number is. That's where ultimately where I think corn market's trying to head up to, possibly even getting to 450, but it may take a little while to get there. November soybeans are up 3 3/4 here this morning, trading 10 at 21.5. My averages flipped to the buy side here with Friday's trade. Yesterday we're down 1/4 cent, spiked way higher here, got up to 10.23 1/4, but finished a lot closer to the lows and the highs here yesterday. But this morning they were bidding things up. 5 day moving average giving you support here this morning, right around that 10.18 and 3/4 level. You're going to have resistance here. You've got the 50, the 200, the 100 day, all clustered between kind of right around that 10.24 3/4 up to about 10.28.5. It'll take a little bit of a heavy lift or a dramatic move to push through there, and volume's been declining here lately in the beans as well. Soy meal's up a couple ticks here this morning. Yesterday did finish down $1.50 to 77.10. Short-term averages flipped over toward the bullish side here with yesterday's trade. Didn't get any real follow through. Stochastics kind of mid-range here. Seasonally, the soybeans, soy meal, bean oil, they all tend to run higher here from now until Thanksgiving. But we'll see how that market trades moving forward. Like I said, expect a seasonal bounce. We did kind of hold above those July lows, and now we're trying to push back higher here. Let's see if they can do that. December soybean oil's up 39 here this morning, trading at the highest level it's been at here since September 19th. I think that's a positive sign. Didn't really get close to or test that 200-day moving average, but we did bounce off that trend line support here about a week and a half ago. Almost 2 weeks ago now. Looking for the market to kind of push higher here. You do have the 50 and the 100-day moving averages making a bearish crossover here, or they're about ready to here. They're within about 3 decimal points of each other. Do like this market from the long side, just from the seasonality point of view. Stochastics pointing higher here as well. Wheat continues to lounge around this at these low levels here, 513.5. This morning it's up 3/4 cent. Yesterday it was down 2.5 cents, closing below both the 5 10-day moving averages. Not a particularly strong sign there. Wheat market just continues to grind lower. Same thing with KC wheat. It's up 1.25 pennies here this morning, trading 496 3/4, but not a whole lot to talk about there. The downtrend just continues to get ground down and remains in place. Not a whole lot of dramatics to it. Just market just wants to go down here for the moment. Don't have any other signals here today in other markets. Take a quick look around here. See how much time have we got here. Well, we're about 9 minutes or so. Quick look around here. Stock indexes are higher. S&P's up 8. NASDAQ's up 57, setting new highs here the last couple of days. Dow futures are up 65. The Russell's up 4.3, setting a new high for the move here yesterday. Energy markets, crude's down about 30 cents here this morning. Gasoline's down about 1.75 pennies here, finding some resistance. A little bit of a bounce, finding some resistance from the 100-day average. We're also below the 10-day and the 50-day there. Diesel prices up less than a penny here this morning, finding resistance from that 100-day average. And nat gas prices kind of quiet here this morning, basically unchanged here, right around 336.40 or so. Thanks for listening, folks. I will talk to you in this space here tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up. That way you'll get notifications when I go live here. Thanks.